Okay. I want this horse to yield to me. It's here because it's kind of pushy. And it has a tendency to creep on a human. And when you're standing in front of it, it'll creep on you. And since it doesn't think it's important enough to yield to you, it has a tendency to, if you're leading it, to just kind of shut you out, because it figures if it doesn't have to yield to you, it doesn't have to pay attention to you. Now, like I said in an earlier video, he leans across the fence and he leans across the stall doors, and I showed you how I worked on that. He'll lean across the stall there while you're feeding the horse across the alley, and he's bit me in the back a couple of times because I wasn't paying attention to him, I guess. Probably he wanted fed first, and he needs to learn to yield. He needs to learn to wait for your comfort that you're going to provide in order to be safe. While you're leading him down a barn alley or leading him somewhere, he'll get distracted, forget you're there. He'll push on you and he'll bite you. Sometimes he'll rear up if you don't let him go where he wants to go. So that's why he's here. Really nice horse to ride. Just horrible down here as far as paying attention to you. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fly spray him. And the way I go about this fly spray, I want him to hold his ground. I'm not going to chase him. I'm going to let the wind help me a little bit. And you can see he doesn't mind this too much. He likes comfort. He just wants comfort on his own terms. But what we're going to work on is him yielding to me. He's not allowed to make contact with me. So I'm going to lead him. Now I'm going to send him. Now I'm going to lead him. Now I'm going to send him. Now I'm going to pick up here, and he's going to yield to me. And I'm going to pet him. I'm not mad at him at all. I like horses. He's just learned some incorrect responses to stimulus. I want him to step over where my finger's pointing. I don't want him coming straight into me. Just like that. I'll send him around here. Now I'll lead with him. Now I'll send him. Inside hind leg, left and right. Now pet him again. Lots of pets. But lots of pets on my terms, not his. If I shake this rope left and right, I want him to make it a primary concern that he needs to yield to me. You see how he's dragging his feet right there? If you can see it, that means his back is hollow, his head's up, and he's dragging his feet. When he backs up correctly, he'll pick his feet up just like he goes forward at the trot. Send him way out there. And I want him walking forward. I'm going to get over here right by about the cinch. And when I touch him, I want him to turn. And I want him to move forward. This is yielding also. If you ask him to turn and he doesn't turn, he's not yielding to you. Touch his jaw and turn him and tell him. So I'm going to send him. And he doesn't get to tell me no. You pick straight up, inside hind leg, left and right. Now I'll pet him. Now we're going to yield his rib cage. Forward. Forward. As soon as he moves, quit kicking him. I'm going to pick up and push him out. I want him to leg yield away from me. He needs to get off of me. Now if I pick up and add my inside leg, he needs to step over. Forward. Pick up, yield him out, yes. Change directions. I'm going to pick up and yield him out. There. Leave him alone. And it's not that I'm trying to be mean to him. I'm trying to stay safe. And I'm trying to keep the people that own him safe. And you can't even, if you can't lead him safely, if you can't be up here by his face safely, then it becomes a scary endeavor, doesn't it? Now I'm going to lead him with some quality. He stops when I stop. He backs up when I back up. He goes forward. He keeps his neck on my shoulder. He stops when I stop. He backs up when I back up. This is yielding also. It's mental. It's emotional. I'm going to step in there, and he needs to step his shoulder over. Just like that. Now I'm going to send him forward. And I'm being kind of really black and white with him. Because yielding has a tendency to irritate him. I'm going to step that shoulder across and move it way out there. Yeah. And when I can't school him for doing something bad if he's not doing something bad. And we've been working with him a little while. But we still have got to be prepared. Because if he gets away with pushing into me, or biting me, or rearing up, he'll go right back to acting the way he was. I'm not saying that you have to put restrictions on being around him. I want you to be just normal when you're around him. Be prepared for him to regress. But don't treat him like he's terrible if he's good. I'm going to show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. Here's another way to check that. Forward. Good. Now you can tell by the size of the circle. You can tell by the size of the circle if he's falling on me or not. Now I'm going to turn him. And I want the circle to stay the same size. Exactly the same size. I don't want him falling in on me. I don't want him falling out. But you can see right there when I tried to turn him, how he wanted to go backwards. Well, when we first started doing this, what he wanted to do was rear up. Forward. And I just want him to go forward. Just that simple. But he's paying attention right now to my space. And he's not being wild. And that circle staying the same size. If he falls in on me, I'm going to leg yield his rib cage out. Now I want to back him up, left and right. Now I need to pet him. And this whole deal started. Because he wouldn't go where we wanted him to go. He would rear up, he would suck back. But if we just take our time and work with him, He's made tremendous amounts of progress, but we have to treat him this way at this time so that that can become a habit. He hasn't been here very long, so none of this stuff is ingrained to him. When I walk up to his stall door, he still comes up to the stall door and sticks his head over the door, and that's not a terrible thing, but I guarantee you is part of the trouble. He just never understood that he had to not touch us. He thought it was okay. Well, if you're leading him around and he doesn't want to be with you and he takes off and finds out that he's stronger than you are, he kind of reared up and that kind of thing, or he'd bite you. He'd just fall on you and then bite you. And this stuff works. You just have to figure out a method or an approach to where you get them quiet. You don't want them afraid of you. And when you find out this, when you experiment and you find this approach, you have to hold the course until this is what you're getting instead of almost an alpha, almost a predator at times. Just a few thoughts. This is a nice horse. He's going to be a really nice dressage horse. We just don't need him to be so evil when we're on the ground with him that they really don't want to catch him and mess with him, because he's getting to where he was scaring him real bad. I'm kind of thinking in a week or so when he goes home, he's going to be kind of a joy to be around. Just a thought.